Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is good. I am, I got a little like post-creative burnout. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's I mean, I assume it's not burnout. That's not the correct word. Post-creative slump? I think that's the correct word. I think, we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago, and now I'm accepting reality right this minute because I've been a little bit kind of like, okay, now what? For a few days. And I know that M recognizes it, and it concerns her because, for the last 2.5, 3 months, I've been solid straight just, oh my God, I'm going to make games again, and I'm going to have so much fun doing it. Or, oh my God, I'm playing games again and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And I'm now just kind of here, right? And I'm just waiting for my orders to come in from the Game Crafter. I'm waiting for Gen Con to happen, and then it'll be back to like, okay, now I have breathing room again, right? But the reality is, I put these orders in, and then it's just kind of, and I don't know what to do with myself, and so my brain wanders. And so I did a thing the other day, just kind of, actually this weekend, it just happened, and I've been pondering a remake, essentially, of my card game Me Booty for a while now. Me Booty was a 54 card version of Scallywags, which is my Game Right published game that I did in 2014, and I gave it away, or 2015, I don't remember. I printed 110 copies of that game and gave them away for free at Gen Con, and then that's it. It's never been released, publicly from that point. And it's a really good game. It's actually a really fun little, extremely light, extremely fast to play game that works well with like 3 to 6 players. For years, I've wanted to expand it to like 8 players and make the deck a little bit bigger. 54 cards is a little too tight. I wanted it to be more like 72 cards and maybe take it to 8. I think 72 cards really makes it comfortable at 6, whereas 54 cards, it was kind of at 6. But pushing it to 8 is probably with 72 cards. But I've been thinking about that for a while, and I also didn't want to do pirates. I didn't want to do that theme. And so I've been trying to figure out what is a good theme. So the way the game works, if you don't know Scallywags, basically you have a deck of cards. Some of those cards are just points, right? 1 point, 3 point, 5 point, 8 point. And some of those cards manipulate cards that are in play. And what happens is you draw these cards and then you play one of them. And you can take those points and give them to yourself. So you draw 5, you're like, oh, I want 5 points, I'll take 5 points. But maybe you draw a bunch of 1s, and you don't want to take a 1 for yourself because you're only allowed to have 5 cards. So taking a 1 means that you're blocking up your area where you could fit 3s and 5s and 8s, and so you'll give a 1 to somebody else, and now their area is getting clogged up. And then there's some pirate cards that let you shift it around. So thematically, the game revolved around pirates divvying up their booty. And it's like, here, you take this and I'll take that. And in the end, you're trying to have the best 5 cards, right? That's the whole point. You're trying to get the best 5 cards. And I just couldn't find another theme. There wasn't one that worked. And then the other day, to be completely transparent, I've been thinking a lot about the very open theme of Wingspan and just how universal that theme is. How the game works really well for gamers, it works really well for non-gamers, partially because it's just this game about birds, and it's really an attractive, like, wildlife-themed game. And for some reason I thought about squirrels, and I was like, wait a minute, squirrels kind of stash stuff, right? I know they do. And so I went and did some research, and it's like, yeah, they actually store things. And even better yet, I found out that some squirrels store different types of mast or nuts in different areas. So like they know this is my walnut area, and this is my pine cone area, and this is my acorn area, and then depending on what they want, that day, they'll go to that stash and eat. And it all just clicked. I went, oh my God, this game is about squirrels. It's not about pirates, it's squirrels. It makes so much more sense that I'm going to put an acorn in your stash and I'm going to take a walnut for myself, right? I want the good stuff. You have the bad stuff. On top of that, I talked about theme. I talked a few years ago with a publisher who was considering publishing it, and we made some extra developments to the game that I think really make things work a little bit better. So this weekend, I just rushingly threw that game together. I signed up for a free Shutterstock account so I could get 10 free images. I downloaded some watercolors of squirrels and pine cones. Yeah, I'm completely stealing the layout of the cards. Not stealing, but I'm completely... The game is completely inspired by Wingspan, right? Like from theme and, you know, the gameplay is nothing like Wingspan. In fact, the gameplay is more like Uno than anything. It's very, very, very basic. But the look of the cards, the watercolor, you know. So anyway, I did that this weekend. And I didn't do that this weekend because I was excited about it. I mean, I got really excited. As soon as the squirrel thing hit, I was like, oh, duh, let's do that. And then I just did because I couldn't stop thinking about it. But anyway, the point is, I didn't do it because because it was a great thing to do in that moment. I did it because I was in this slump where it was like, all of my projects are on hold. What am I going to do with myself? That was why. That's kind of the wrong reason, I think. Like, you know, going back years to M trying to teach me how to relax and me not knowing how to relax because I always wanted to be doing something. And she spent years training me to relax. But these past 3 months, I haven't been able to relax. My brain has been going so full bore on game design. And, you know, last night... So the reason I'm thinking about it today is last night, M had lessons. She's been taking some lessons online, and she had about an hour and a half or 2 hours last night of time blocked off for that, and I was just kind of free to roam. Like, what am I going to do for 2 hours? I couldn't work on the basement because her lessons were upstairs, and I need to do some hammer drilling and stuff, so that wasn't an option. Couldn't really do anything in here because, you know, her desk is above me. So I just kind of meandered around, like, what am I going to work on? You know, I've already designed 3 expansion maps for Narrow Gauge. I already did the scroll game. It's on order. It'll actually be here on Friday. I rush ordered it from the Game Crafter so I could have it for Gen Con. Why? Am I going to show it to a publisher? Like, who wants to look at that game? I don't know. That is absolutely a game that I'm going to put on GameFound. Like, that is the kind of game that I'm going to self-publish. That's the kind of game I feel comfortable self-publishing. Because it's just cards and it's fun and silly, right? Why did I pay double price to rush order it? I don't know. Because my brain was going like, oh, we can show this. We'll have a 3rd thing or a 4th thing. So last night, I'm kind of meandering around, and I just sat down and read. Like, when we talked about manga, we talked about Junji Ito. I went to the store the other day. I just bought all of his stuff. I bought everything he's ever written. Well, that was at that store, which was like 6 or 8 books, like $120 worth of books. And I just sat down and started reading. And it felt good to not be thinking about games, but also at the same time it felt like I have that creeping in feeling of you should be doing something productive. This isn't productive. But it was productive. It was productive for me. It was internally productive. So this slump, this post-creative slump, where it's like I spend all of these like months of creative energy just pour out of me all of a sudden from nowhere. And I don't want to let it go because I know that once I let that go, it's going to be a very long time before I come back to it, right? It's going to be a very long time before that creativity stream hits me again and I go full bore. And so I want to take advantage of it while it's here. But at the same time, that's not fair to everybody else in my life. It's not fair for me to ignore my kids to work on this. It's not fair for me to ignore M to work on this. I have to learn some sort of way of throttling myself. And so I'm in the slump, or I was in the slump, and I keep finding ways to jump out of it. Work these last couple of days, I've had a whole bunch of just random problems to solve, and that's been really helpful, but I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that I recognize that I'm in some sort of weird in-between, where I had all these great thoughts, I've executed on all those great thoughts, and now it's just a matter of waiting for an outcome. and I'm just refreshing pages, trying to see if anybody's commented on something that I've posted, or if the Game Crafters updated the shipping information, or if USPS has updated the tracking information. I'm just waiting for something to happen instead of making it happen, or accepting that nothing needs to happen right now. That's what I think I really need to do. I think that's what this video is about. Not necessarily about being in a slump. I think what I really need to do is manufacture a slump. Manufacture a reason to just chill. Hopefully, that's going to happen soon. That's what I have for you today. I don't know if there was a point to that. If there was a point to that, let me know in the comments, because I don't know what it was. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is heretic. It is a noun meaning a person who boldly, loudly, and publicly defies the conventions of a religion, society, culture, or set of beliefs. The heretic is always better dead, and mortal eyes cannot distinguish the saint from the heretic. George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright. Heretic. H-E-R-E-T-I-C. The pronunciation guide says heretic. Like, just capital H-E-R as the heretic. Heretic. Heretic? I've never heard anybody say it that way.